Pleasant day to each and everyone. So, welcome to the new topic of the World History 2 entitled The 20th Century Crisis. So, this topic will broaden your mind about the dreadful era of Great War. But before we start, let me introduce to you the reporters. So, yours truly, Dave, this again. We'll be discussing the chapter 23, the war and revolution, chapter 24 and chapter 25, split by the reporters, introducing Miss Shaira Sarabia, Miss Judeline Ramos, and Sir Joshua Serrat, the West between the wars and nationalism around the world. And chapter 26 will be discussing by Miss Stephanie Raha. And we are the group D, so let's dig in it about the World War One. So World War One happens, or actually one of the most significant and crucial events happened in our history. But what comes to your mind when you hear about World War One? It's actually, we're gonna say, it's actually assassination of someone. It's actually the intensifying of interest of the one land. So your thoughts and um, reasons are valid and related to the cause of why World War One happened. And then, according to the scholars, several factors why World War One happened, and then it's one of the contextualization of militarism. Militarism is a concept of growth of armies or the masses of armies, the conscription, the compulsory of action that you should be involved in that kind of group, that troop, that you, someone like the leader will command you that you should be here, you should be involved to this kind of battle. So that's just like that. And then the birth of alliances, the Triple Entente, latter called Allied Powers, and the Triple Alliance, latter called Central Powers. Triple Entente was created in 1907, composed by Great Britain, France, and Russia, while the Triple Alliance, or the Central Powers, was composed in 1882, was created rather in 1882 and composed of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. So that's furthermore, nationalism. The nationalism is the context of intensifying of interest, the the intention of someone to be competed, to have that kind of thing. And then it's equal to imperialism, which is expanding their powers, expanding their dominion. And the last thing is the assassination of Archduke Francis Ferdinand. So he is the one, the reason why World War One happened. So according to the scholars, if uh, Lodgka, which is the who was the driver uh, of his uh, transport, if he doesn't or he didn't turn in the wrong path, this kind of scenario wouldn't happen. The World War One. Well, actually, Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb, killed this man. The first attempt was a failure, but the second attempt was a successful. Well, no, I'm not gonna say Gavrilo Princip was succeed to his intention or to his plan. So this killing of Archduke Francis together with his wife is actually planned. So that's it. But on rather on July 28, 1914, this scenario happened, and a month ago, July 28, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. So because uh, this man, Archduke Francis Ferdinand, is actually heir of Austria-Hungary, and actually the the conflict is in between with the Serbia and Austria-Hungary, but the cause of alliances, because us Gavrilo Princip is Serbia. Serbia was inclined with the Triple Entente or the Allied powers, and then the Austria-Hungary is inclined or grouped by the Triple Alliance. So that's it. That's the reason why uh, the the concept of the assassination of Francis Ferdinand. And William, Kaiser William, he said that I gave a blank check. So blank check to Austria-Hungary. So blank check is a political concept na parang susuportahan ko kayo. So that's that kind of thing. And then Tsar Nicholas is part of Russia, while the Wilhelm is part of the Germany. And Alfred von Schiffland is part of the Germany also. And then he was the one or mastermind of Schiffland plan. Schiffland plan is actually encircling in this part para hindi makapasok yung para hindi magkaroon ng hindrance talaga. So dito yon so Western Front, ito Western Front, and then Eastern Front kasi napapagitna yung Germany ng Triple Entente. So nagkaroon ng Western Front and then Eastern Front. So dito sa Western Front magkaroon sila ng circle para, but actually it triggers kasi the Great Britain didn't have the did not have the clear intention or clear information na they will part of the war kasi parang neutral lang sila at that time. Pero nung pumasok itong Germany sa Belgium, doon nagka-trigger and then nag-send ng ultimatum papunta ng London, and yun, nagdeklara ng war yung Great Britain sa Germany. So that's it. So moving forward to the timeline of and events in 1914. So here is the June 28 and July 28. To move forward, the Battle of Tannenberg, which destroyed the Russian army. So Battle of Tannenberg is actually a a form of battle na parang yung Russia at saka yung Germany. But sad to say, Russia was not declared themselves as or claimed themselves na parang victory nila kasi hindi hindi pa yung nabubuo yung mobilization, because yung mobilization na yun parang na surpass ng Germany sa kanilang strategy kasi walang strategic plan yung Russian, kaya yun na natalo sila. And then the sad part of it is the committing suicide or the suicide of Alexander Samsonov. Kasi Alexander Samsonov parang na-in-charge siya dito sa eastern part, and then parang hindi niya matanggap. He didn't expect and then accept the fact of being of that kind of failure. Then ayun, nagpakamatay siya. And nung yun na sa naval battle of Heligoland Bight, which is yung sa parang nagkaroon ng hidwaan, di ba, nun ng Battle of Tunbury. So, hindi nagpatinag yung British. So, ng giyera dun sa katubigan. So, nanalo sila, but on the 5th of September, the HMS Pathfinder sunk. So, hindi din napatinag yung German. Parang sinabi nila, oy, hindi kami papatalo. Papatumbahin din kayo. So, ayun. Napatumban nila. And, kumalas din yung Battle of Marne and the trench warfare began. Yeah, ayun talaga. Yung Battle of Marne is actually significant din kasi yung yung allied power parang nag-stand sila. Kaya nila to eh. And then something like miracle happened. So parang nasa kanila yung victory. So it's just so much like a small victory lang. And the trench warfare began. So dito na yung labanan talaga. Yung trench warfare parang nagubukay sila ng lupa, then nilalagyan ng sacks ng sako yung nasa ibabaw, parang wall siya, kumbaga nandun yung mga barbed wire, nandun yung mga obstacle para hindi talaga makapasok yung dito na side yung trench war. Dito nabuo yung trench war. Nagdidig sila ng lupa. And happened on the Battle of Masurian Lake, the second massive German victory. So on 7 or 9 of the September, parang sabi ng Germany, hindi tayo mapapatina. So lalaban tayo. Then go. They have their victory. It's a small victory lamang. Then nung October to November, nagkaroon ng race to the sea. So bakit race to the sea? Yung dalawang partido parang sabi nila dito na side na nagkaroon ng labanan at saka pumunta dito sa Marne, pumunta dito hanggang sa parang naghahabulan sila papuntang dagat. So that's the kind bakit tinawag siyang race to the sea. Well, actually, Race to the Sea is the birth of the first Battle of Ypres where both sides had more heavy losses. So ayun. Punta tayo dito. And noong November, then noong October to November is the expansion of the World War I. The connection ng mga both ng both parties dito na side. Pag ng Ottoman, then sabi nila na isa kami sa labanan. Then the Cameroon, the Tonga, and then dito na part. So sa Battle of Tonga, nandito si Leto Verbeck. Nandito yung tao na yun na successful siya sa sugpo ng mga kupunan ng Allied powers. Hindi siya nagpatinag, nilabanan niya, nagkaroon siya ng strategic techniques in order the enemy will tear apart or ghost and go home. So sabi niya. And then di na patinag nung nag-December, nag-September din is the siege of mga battles ito. Dito tayo na site. So battles of the Battle of Seir ng August. Nangyari din. Well, actually walang dito. Walang kupunan para lang. Pero dito sa Siege of Przemysl, naangkin ng Russia. The concept of this is malakas yung Russia pag yung Austria-Hungary ang kalaban nila. But otherwise, pag German, talo sila. So ayun, the Battle of Coronel, November. Ito na part is si Admiral von Spee. Si Admiral von Spee nakapag-sunk. Kasama niya yung mga kagrupo niya nakapag lubog ng dalawang cruiser, British cruiser, dun sa Chile. Pero na Battle of Falkland, later on, parang days after nung nangyari ng colonel, di na patinag yung British. Pinatumba din nila yung 4 sa 5 na cruiser. And then si Spee ay parang he goes down. And the Battle of Sarikamish on December, the Ottoman offensive ends in disaster. So, parang nagkaroon din ng disastrous event sa Battle of Sarikamish ng Ottoman. Parang hindi sila nagkaroon kasi yung force ng British is compact. And the Battle of Champagne that led to 90,000 casualties. So ito yung masaklap sa part ng Allied powers. And then later on, parang nagkakaroon ng Christmas, 'di ba? Yung Christmas truce, it's actually happened. Naglaro pa nga sila ng football nagkakanta-kantahan. Parang ito kasing war na to, they intended na parang it's a small war na hindi talaga maglolong last ng ilang taon talaga. They actually, and then yung mga tao is, they're not willing to kind of na parang napilitan kasi compulsory nga, di ba? So, nagkakantahan sila doon, nag-aawitan, nagsishake hands. Like, as in sobra talaga, naputol yung hidwaan. Parang, it took days. Pero nalaman ng mga higher rank, ayun, pinapatuloy sila sa laban. So, ayun. Doon nagtapos yung 1914. But, in the 1915, this is the time na nagkaroon na talaga ng grabe talaga. So, this kind of scenario na January pa lang, pinaputukan na ng Germany ang Allied powers in the country of Great Britain gamit ang Zeppelin. So, Zeppelin hit at the King's Lane and the Great Yarmouth, which is we kill 4 casualties. Pero hindi nagpatinag ang mismong Allied power ng British. Nag-battle din sila sa Dogger Bank, na which resulted the initial British victory na nagpatumba sa Germany that time. So hindi na parang napatumba ng isang cruiser ng British. Then ayun, umalis din yung mismong kalaban. Well, balik lang tayo ha. It happens na nagkaroon ng blockage dito na side. Pero yung blockage na dito is kagagawan ng British na sa kanila sinasabi nila na harangan natin dito. na side para hindi magkaroon ng food yung actually ng yung mga Germany. Pero may U-boat na tinatawag ang Germany. Nandito siya, yung U-boat. And then, nagkaroon din sila ng pagkakataon na mapatumba. Ayun, yun nga, yung tinatawag na submarine. So much for that. Balik tayo dito. Noong February ay nagkaroon din na ng Battle of Masurian Lake. So, second battle. The battle made the Allies enemy to its unlocking their goal when Russian lose up to 200,000 men. So, it's a sad story na parang sad story. Pagkatapos ng Dogger Bank, eh, ayun na naman din. Sawi na naman din yung Allied powers kasi namatayan sila ng 200,000. But sa Battle of Dardanelles, gusto man lang ng Russia na ng Russia gusto man ng Russia or the Allied powers gusto nila magkaroon ng victory talaga noong that time kasi na sila parang ang dami nilang ship compared to Central Powers. Where actually, yung ship ng British is 29 and then the ship ng Germany is 19 lang. So parang advantage ng Allied powers. Pero their bombardment but suffered due to mines. So, nagkaroon ng mga putukan, ganun. So the attack was called off. Actually, parang papunta na sana yung victory sa mismong Allied powers pero naisahan din ng mga ng Turkish, so the Ottoman. So that's that. And March, the Battle of Neuve Chapelle, the advance was halted by German barbed wire and machine guns. So di pa rin napatinag ang Germany that time. Pinaputukan, ginamitan ng estratehiya. Then, may note dito na the battle between Russia and Austria-Hungary was marked by the glorious advancement of Russia. So, yun yung sinabi ko kanina. And noong April, dito na part is the significant. Well, actually, the Second Battle of Ypres is the parang ginamitan na ng German yung poisonous gas. And then, nagkaroon ng pag-support ng crude gas mask at that time. So, it is the first time na gumamit silang gas and parang makalanghap pa nito ay mamamatay ka. Gallipoli landings, the Anzacs goal was to take out the short forts. So, in this part, gusto ng Anzacs that Australia and New Zealand armies armies group or the crops rather na maharangan nila yung hindi pagpasok ng British or hindi pagpasok ng Allied powers sa mismong Gallipoli or tinatawag doon sa parte ng Ottoman sa bandang baba. Pero bago nangyari ang Gallipoli landings ay nagkaroon na ng Armenian genocide. So this Armenian genocide is sad story to our fellow Armenian. Kasi sinabi dito, Turkish massacred Armenian as they believed that they were the enemy's ally. So bago pa to nangyari yung Gallipoli landings, sinasabi nila para siguro yung army yung Armenia yung mga tao na nagtatay-door sa atin. So, pinapunta nila sa desert, ah, hindi nila hindi nila napatinag, pinapunta nila doon at saka doon sila namatay sa init, sa uhaw, sa walang pagkain. Yun, parang namatay. And then, note ha, it is 1 million yung namatay dito. And then, pumunta na tayo sa May. Nung May naman. Nung May 2, Gorlice-Tarnow offensive. So, German advanced to beat Russian defenses. So, na-beat na naman to beat Russian defenses. Pero, ang nangyari dito is both sides heavy losses. Pero, parang makakasabi yung German. It's their initial na naman din na victory kasi mas nalamangan ng casualties ng Russia. And then the Song of Lusitania. So this is one of the reason also one of the factors kung bakit nag-trigger yung USA. So as I've read, so isa din daw to sa reason. So it was torpedoed by German U-boat of the coast of Ireland. So yun yung sinabi ko, because of the submarine yung at the Atlantic na Ocean, dun yung part ng U-boat, and then yung mga submarine yung new weapon ng Germany. Ipapigilin yung transaction ng England to USA. So ganun din yung gusto ng Germany. Kasi pinak ng Great Britain yung naval nila doon sa side ng upper side ng Germany. And then the second battle of Artois, Allies tried to make advance moves pero deep pa rin. And then dito sa when the summer starts, the Fokker Scourge. So this part ng battle is nagkaroon sila ng aircraft din. Yung Zeppelin, it's an aircraft na parang bombing. And then itong Focus Scourge na kanilang na-invento. German din yung nag-invent nito. Si Anthony Fokker, while the Zeppelin was invented by Count Ferdinand Zeppelin in 1908. And ito, isa niyang mga yung magdadala ng mga machine gun dito. Parang it's a monoplane. Isa lang yung tao dito. So, pero nagkakaroon sila ng idea kung paano pabagsakin yung mga kalaban. And then the Battle of Isonzo, the first assault from Italy against Austria-Hungarian along the Isonzo. Parang dito nagkaroon ng enlightenment or nagkaroon ng way yung Italy na ma-push nila yung Austria-Hungarian na mag-ghost now. Well, the August is something like another battle na naman. The August 5 ng 1915 is the German troops enter the Warsaw. So, eto sa Warsaw, parang the Russia faced crisis kasi. So, Tsar Nicholas II dismissed the commander-in-chief, Grand Duke Nicholas. So, the Russia faced crisis and then nag-retreat sila. So, ang nanalo na naman din na initial is yung German. Then, on August 9, the song of SS Arabic. And then August 6. The Battle of Saribir. So both parties suffered environmental crisis and diseases. So this battle is parang equal sila kasi nagkaroon uh, ng disease, nagkaroon sila ng sakit, and it's because of the phenomenon. And then September to October, nangyari din yung in September 25, French attacked but it was unable to progress. Great Autumn Offensive happened. So, yung Great Autumn Offensive happened nung September 25 kasi plano yung French na, ay, aatake kami. Pero, nasablay sila. Then, nung October 3, Salonika landings, Bulgaria entered joined the Central Powers. So, in 9th of October, the Belgrade falls. So, ito yung pagbuo ng Bulgaria ng force ng mobilization, and then nagpunta sila dun sa mismo sa Serbia, and then napaalis nila ang Serbia, or in English, it actually parang defeat, the term defeat. Pero yung mga natitira ng mga army ng Serbia ay pumunta sila sa Albanian Mountains through sea. So through sea, parang umikot lang sila, lang sila, pumunta sila sa karagatan, and then pumunta din sila sa Corfu na tinatawag. And the Battle of Isonzo, the third Battle of Isonzo happened on October 8. November 10, the fourth Battle of Isonzo happened. This battle na October at saka November, these two stages of battle alongside Isonzo River testified how Austrian-Hungary made ways to dig in the enemy. So, ito yung parte na parang napupukaw na yung mga Austria-Hungary na, uy, kami din, mag-stand out din kami. So, napatunayan nila. And then, the November 22, British in Middle East, the British advance in Baghdad was blocked by the Turkish at the Battle of Ctesiphon. So, it's clearly na-block sila ng Turkish kasi parang napaghandaan. It's not kasi, it's actually planned na napaghandaan talaga nila yung pag-abante ng British. And then, nung lapit na papatapos ang year 1915, nung nag-evacuation from Gallipoli. So, ito yung evacuation ng kupunan ng Allied powers na successful talaga. Ni isa walang namatay. It was secretly evacuated without alerting Turkish forces. So, bakit yun na nangyari? Nangyari yun kasi hindi regular yung pagbuto-buto, or sorry to form the term. It's actually a local term. Bigay ng mga paputok ng Allied powers or ng British that time. So, sabi nila, nagplano sila na hindi natin papahalatain, or huwag tayong magpapahalata. So, ayun, yun nangyari. And then, actually, the year 1915 is bad year for the Allies. 1916, 1917, and 1919 will be discussed later on.